What if I told you that fame is not a symbol of power, but a warning sign that power is already slipping away? The world tells us that influence looks like headlines, social media following, and public recognition. But the people who truly shape global outcomes follow a very different rule. They avoid the spotlight completely. No interviews, no profiles, no fame. And that is not an accident. That is strategy. Because history shows us one uncomfortable truth. The closer you get to real power, the quieter everything becomes. Most people believe power wants attention. In reality, attention attracts friction. When someone becomes famous, they become visible. When they become visible, they become predictable. And predictability is the enemy of control. The most powerful individuals understand something most people never notice. Every spotlight creates a target. Every headline invites scrutiny, and every name that becomes known can also be challenged, regulated, pressured, or dismantled. This is why real power does not announce itself. It withdraws. Here is the first pattern break most people miss. Famous people explain themselves. Powerful people do not. The moment someone has to defend their actions publicly, they are already operating within limits. True power exists above explanation. It does not argue. It does not justify. It simply moves quietly while others debate. And this is where the illusion of fame begins to crumble. Fame feels powerful to the public, but to those who understand leverage, fame is exposure. And exposure is risk. Now, pause and think about this. Every public billionaire you know is constantly reacting. Reacting to media narratives. Reacting to public opinion. Reacting to regulation. Reacting to markets that now watch their every word. Meanwhile, the individuals who avoid fame operate in silence. They place assets before the news breaks. They exit positions before markets react. They influence outcomes before the public even realizes something is happening. This is not luck. It is positioning, and positioning thrives in anonymity. Here is where the story gets even more unsettling. The most powerful people are not hiding because they are afraid. They are hiding because invisibility multiplies control. When nobody knows your name, nobody can pressure you. When nobody sees your decisions, nobody can reverse them. And when nobody understands your influence, nobody can stop it. Silence becomes armor. Privacy becomes a weapon, and fame becomes the one thing they avoid at all costs. Another misconception people have is that powerful individuals crave recognition. The opposite is true. Recognition creates dependency. The more public approval someone needs, the less power they actually have. True power does not depend on applause. It depends on access. Access to information before anyone else gets it. Access to systems that move money, resources, and policy. Access to decision-makers without ever appearing among them. This access does not exist in public view. It exists behind closed doors. Now, let us talk about the role of regulation. Visibility attracts regulation, the same way light attracts insects. The moment wealth or influence becomes visible, institutions begin asking questions. Taxes follow. Controls follow limits. The most powerful people understand this deeply, so they structure their lives in a way that never triggers attention. Their assets are spread across silent structures. Their decisions are executed through layers of separation. Their presence is deliberately minimized. They are not breaking rules. They are avoiding the space where rules are enforced. And here comes a critical microhook. Look at history. Every powerful figure who became too visible eventually lost control. Empires did not collapse when leaders were strong. They collapsed when leaders became public symbols instead of invisible architects. The lesson was absorbed. Modern power learned from old mistakes. Today, the loud are watched. The quiet are ignored. And being ignored is the greatest advantage in the world. Consider how information works. Public figures react to information. Powerful individuals receive information early. They are not first because they are smarter. They are first because privacy gives them proximity. When you are not visible, People speak more freely around you. When you are not famous, conversations do not change in your presence. When your name is unknown, doors open without suspicion. This is how invisible power feeds itself. Now shift your perspective slightly. Ask yourself this: why do some of the most influential decisions in the world never come with names attached? Why do policies change without a clear author? Why do markets move without a visible trigger? Because the hands guiding these outcomes are not meant to be identified. Fame interrupts that process. Fame turns influence into spectacle, and spectacle always invites opposition. Here is another truth that feels uncomfortable to accept. Fame creates accountability. Power prefers insulation. The more famous someone is, the more explanations they owe. The more interviews they give, the more narratives they lose control over. Invisible power does not explain itself. It does not clarify. It does not apologize. It simply continues. This is why the most powerful individuals often appear completely absent from public conversation. Their absence is not weakness. It is dominance. Think about the systems that actually govern wealth, resources, and opportunity. They do not care about faces. They care about control points. Land ownership, resource rights, supply chains, legal frameworks, financial structures. None of these require fame. In fact, fame interferes with them. Power at this level is operational, not emotional. It functions best when nobody is watching. Here is the final realization. The world celebrates fame because fame is visible. But power does not want to be seen. It wants to endure. It wants to outlast trends, market cycles, political shifts, and public outrage. And the only way to do that is by remaining invisible. This is why the most powerful people avoid fame at all costs. Not because they cannot have it, but because they understand its price. The truth is simple. Fame is a currency for those who need validation. Power is a system for those who need control. And the people who truly shape how wealth, influence, and decisions move through the world choose silence over recognition every single time. If you want to keep understanding how real power operates beneath the surface, how invisible systems shape visible outcomes, and why the quietest figures often control the loudest events, subscribe to The Wealth Diarist, because real power is never announced. It is discovered